Disclaimer! This book is real old with outdated ways of talking. But I like this book. LOL. Alright, we're finished recording and now I'm going to do something new. Something most people haven't even heard about. I am of course talking about reading a book. Oh, Mr. Fancy Pants over here. A quick disclaimer. This book is from the 1800s, so there's probably going to be some weird stuff in there. So for most kids, disclaimer. Probably going to put that before everything. I'm taking everything off because it is hot to death. Well, since this is the first episode, I might as well just tell you. I'm going to be putting a movie, Star Wars, on the background because, you know, some people can't handle reading a book. I love reading books. They're great. Not to sound like an egghead. I'm just saying it's great. But I'll be reading a chapter each episode. This thing is gonna be my timer. And for those who don't even want to read, we'll be watching this instead, hopefully. I pressed play, didn't I? Oh, it's not even on the right channel. Haha. Star Wars. What else can I say? Just reading a book every chapter. And right when the movie ends, that's around the time I'll stop reading the chapters. There's not really much to talk about. I'll just guide you along. I'll be reading a book. The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood. And I'll be doing that a lot too, you know. Going up here. The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood written and illustrated by Howard Pyle. Woohoo! We're gonna get a little fancy in here, buddies. I just finished recording El Cucuy. Not great. Now let's start reading. No introduction. Just drop in, you know. Oh wait. 50 should be good, right? Now let us start with the prologue. Oh, there's a picture here. This is what I was talking about. You got, what is it? Young Robin Hood goes to the shooting match. And I don't know what he has there. It's so weird. Prologue. Blah, 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 blah. Woo, wait. And it's hot. It is the middle of summer, so I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer. Let's just get into it. Ew! Whatever. I'm probably going to be doing that sometimes, but just forgive me if I do. I'm going to be shouting Kino. I'm going to be shouting a lot of stuff. That's not Kino, though. Hello, Mr. George. You happy with the new Star Wars movie? Alright, let's get into it. Giving an account of Robin Hood and his adventures with the king's foresters. Also telling how his band gathered around him. And of the merry adventure that gained him and his good right-hand man, the famous Little John.
I would say probably the original impetus.
Oh, let me lower this actually. It's going to distract me a little bit. And I know there's some folks... No, you know what? I'll try to work around it. I'll just be louder. In merry England, in the time of old, when good King Henry II ruled the land, where there lived... within the green glades of Sherwood, near Nottingham town, a famous outlaw whose name was Robin Hood. No archer ever lived that could speed a gray goose shaft with such skill and cunning as his. Nor were there ever, were there ever such a yeoman as the 70 merry men that roamed with him through the greenwood shades. Right merrily they dwelt within the depths of Sherwood forest, suffering neither care nor want, but passing the time in merry games of archery, or bouts of cudgel play, living upon the king's venison, washed down the draughts of ale of October brewing. Not only Robin himself, but all the band were outlaws and dwelt apart from other men, yet they were beloved by the country people around about. For no one ever... Oh, hey, there's a picture. I'll show you after this paragraph. came to Jolly Robin for help in time of need, and went away again with an empty fist. Now here's the picture.
First part of it, sort of the first act. I said, I'll make the movie about this.
What does it say? Robin Hood meets tall stranger on the bridge. So here you got the guy with the wow, that's a large stick. You got a guy on the pool, obviously asking him that if he goes this way, that's where the forest is at. That's why he's pointing over there. Good sir, that's the forest right behind you. I assume that's Little John. I really want to say it's Little John. Let me switch something. There we go. I switched the audio mic to surrounding, so now it's going to be hearing over there and over there. Now I can hear from behind. That's great, isn't it? Alright, let's go back to it. Now, I will tell how it first came about that Robin Hood fell afoul of the law. When Robin was a youth of 18, stout of sinew and bold of heart, the sheriff of Nottingham proclaimed a shooting match offered a prize of a butt of ale to whomsoever should shoot the best shaft in Nottinghamshire. Now, quoth Robin, will I go to for fain would I draw a string for the bright eyes of my lass, and a butt of good October brewing. So up he got and took his good stout yew bow, and score more of broad cloth yard arrows, and started off from Locksley Town to Locksley Town through Sherwood Forest to Nottingham. It was. Has the movie not started? Hold on, I'm gonna. I don't want you guys to be bored of me reading and then bored of this. I at least want some entertainment. If you don't like the book, then you at least have the movie, okay, guys? But you know, just gotta look at him. He's so smug. He knows. He knows he's gonna sell the thing to Disney, and right, well, they did. Haha. Can you stop talking, please? I'm George Lucas. I created all your favorite. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, wait. Kino alert. Now, you probably, most children don't even understand this, but this is absolutely Kino. Oh, man. I recognize this one from when I first watched the movie Twister. Where's the reboot on that, huh, Hollywood? Where is that, huh? But don't worry about it. Now you guys got Star Wars. I'll raise it up just so you guys could probably hear maybe, huh? Back to this. It was at the dawn of the day in the merry May time when hedgerows grow green, flowers bedeck the meadows. Daisy pied and yellow cuckoo buds and fair primrose all along the berry hedges. When apple buds blossom and sweet birds sing. The lark at dawn of day. Kino! This is undoubtedly one of the best intros. I don't even know why. Look at that. Right there. Episode 4. If I'm right, I don't think there was an episode 4. And this is like a new edit. But when this movie came out, I don't think it was called The New Hope. I think it was just called Star Wars. But you guys can quote me on that. I don't care. We're back to reading this book. Cuckoo. The lark at dawn of day and the thrustle cock a cuckoo. When the lads and lasses look upon each other with sweet thoughts, when busy housewives spread their linen to bleach upon the bright green grass. Sweet was greenwood as he walked along its path, and bright the green and rustling leaves. Amid with the little birds sang with might and main. Amid which the little... Wait, I already read that. Wait. Yeah, and Maine. And blithely, Robin whistled as he trudged along, thinking of Maid Marian and her bright eyes. For at such times the youth thoughts are wont to turn pleasantly. Will not. Okay, so let me read that without it. Thoughts are will not. What? I don't know. I don't get it. As thus he walked along with brisk step and merry with whistle, he came suddenly upon for foresters. Wow, I hate when they just cut off. Okay, I just think it's called for and then esters. He came suddenly upon some foresters seated beneath the great oak tree. 15 there were in all, making themselves merry with feasting and drinking as they sat around a huge pasty, to which each man helped himself, thrusting his hands into a pie and washing down that which they ate with great horns of ale, which they drew all foaming from. You know what? You guys don't get to watch a movie. That thing's loud. I'll keep it at 15 because I know some folks like either 5 or 10s or in decimals of even numbers. So I'll, maybe 5, or just to do you guys a favor, I'll keep it at 10. No one gets to watch the movie. I'm just kidding. 5's fine, right, guys? Let's see. Each man was clad in Lincoln green, and fine show they made, seated upon the sword beneath the fair sword, yeah, okay, spreading tree. Then one of them, with his mouth full, called out to Robin, "Hello! Where goest thou, little lad, with thine 1 penny bow and thy farthing shafts?" Then Robin grew angry, for no stripling likes to be taunted with his green ears. "Now," quoth he, "my bow and eke mine arrows are as good as thine, and moreover I go to shooting match at Nottingham town, which same has been proclaimed by our good sheriff of Nottinghamshire. There I will shoot with other stout yeomen, for a prize has been offered of a fine butt of ale." Then one who held the horn of ale in his mouth said, "Ho! Listen to the lad! Why, boy, thy mother's milk is yet scarce dry upon thy lips, and yet thou prayest of standing up with good stout men and Nottingham butts. Thou art scarce able to draw 1 string of 2 stone bow." "I'll hold the best of you 20 marks," quoth bold Robin, "that I hit the clout at 60 rods, by the good help of our Lady fair." At this all laughed aloud, and one said, "Well boasted, thou fair infant, well boasted. And wilt thou knowest that no target is nigh to make good thy wager?" Wow, I'm actually reading that pretty good. I'm surprised. And another cried, "He will be taking ale with his milk next." At this Robin grew mad, right mad. "Hark ye," said he. I'm gonna try to avoid the said he because I feel like it ruins the flow of it. "Hark ye, yonder at that glade's end, I see a herd of deer, even more than 60 rods distance. I'll hold you 20 marks that, by Our Lady fair, I caused the best heart among them to die." "Now done," cried he who had spoken first, "and here are 20 marks. I wager that thou causest no beast to die, with or without the aid of Our Lady." Who's the lady, huh? Madonna? Then Robin took his good yew bow in his hand, and placing the tip at his instep, he strung it right deftly. Then he knocked the broadcloth arrow, and raising the bow, drew the great goose feather to his ear. Okay, right here. The next moment the bow string rang, and the arrow sped down the glade as his... Oh wait, I forgot to let go of the bow. Skins in northern wind. High leaped the noblest heart of all heard, only to fall dead, reddening the green path with his heart's blood. Oof. Yeah. Okay. No more burping. "Ha! How likest thou that shot, good fellow? I wot the wager were mine, and it were 300 pounds. Whoa. 300, my boy's getting rich here. Then all the foresters were filled with why? Oh, well, they lost. And then he who had spoken the first had lost the wager, was more angry than all. "Nay, the wager is none of thine, and get thee gone straight away, or by all the saints of heaven, I'll base thy sides until thou wilt near. Okay, be able to walk again. Knowest thou not, said another, that thou hast killed the king's deer, and by laws of our gracious lord and sovereign, King Harry. In the page first, it says King Henry II. And right here it says King Harry. Maybe it's a typo. Thine ears should be shaven close to thy head. Catch him, cried a third. Nay, say a fourth. Let him e'en go because of his tender years. Let him e'en. It's E''E''N. Let him eat. What? Whatever. Never a word said Robin Hood, but he looked at the foresters with a grim face. Then, turning on his heel, strode away from them down the forest glade. But his heart was bitterly angry, for his blood was hot and youthful and grown to boil. Now, well, would it have been for him who had first spoken had he left Robin Hood alone? But his anger was hot both because of the youth had gotten the better of him and because of the deep draughts of ale that he had been quaffing. So all of a sudden, without any warning, he sprang to his feet and seized upon his bow and fitted it to shift. "Aye," cried he, "and I'll hurry thee Annin." Annin? Wow. An Annin outside of 4chan. How rare. And then he sent the arrow whistling after Robin. Oh, wow. He's gonna... And it was well for Robin Hood that the same forester's head was spinning with ale, or else he would have never taken another step. Ooh. As it was, the arrow whistled within 3 inches of his head. Then he turned around and quickly drew his bow and sent an arrow back in return. "Ye said I was no archer," cried he aloud, "but say so now again." The shaft flew... Wow. Oh, he's gonna kill him. The shaft flew straight. The archer fell forward with a cry, "Ah!" and laid on his face upon the ground, his arrows rattling about him from out of his quiver. The grey goose shaft wet with his heart's blood. Then, before the others could gather their wits about them, Robin was gone into the depths of the green wood. Some started after him, but not with much heart, for each feared to suffer the death of his fellow. So presently they all came and lifted the dead man bore him away to Nottingham town. Oh no! Robin killed the guy! Oh boy! I'm not crying, I'm sweating. It's really hot and the windows aren't open. Only to avoid the sound from outside. Meanwhile, Robin Hood ran through the greenwood. Gone was all the joy and brightness from everything, for his heart was sick with him, and it was borne in upon his soul that he had slain a man. "Alas, thou hast found me an archer that will make thy wife ring. I would that thou..." What? "I would that thou hadst near..." That's weird. Okay, I'm going to say that quickly. "I would that thou hadst near said one word to me, or that I had never passed thy way, or e'en that my right forefinger had stricken off ere that his happened. In haste I smote, but grieve I sore at leisure." And then, even in his trouble, he remembered the old saw that what is done is done. The egg cannot be cured. Ooh, that's pretty good. And where are we at? Bye 3PO. Meanwhile, no way I already had that. And so he came to dwell in greenwood that was to be his home for many a year to come. Never again to see his happy days with the lads and lasses of sweet Locksley town. For he was outlaw. Not only because he had killed a man, but also because he had poached upon the king's deer. 200 pounds? Whoa, wow, okay, deers are heavy. Upon his head as a reward for whoever would bring him to the court of the king. Now the sheriff of Nottingham swore that he himself would bring this knave Robin Hood to justice, and for 2 reasons. First, because he wanted the 200 pounds. And next, because the forester Robin Hood had killed was kin to him. "Oh, I'm going to get that Robin Hood. I'm going to get that 200 pounds. And because he was my family. He killed my family. But mostly because I want the 200 pounds. And because he was my... Who says that? I'm going to get revenge because I want the money. And because he's my family. What a... Can I curse? I'm going to try not to curse. I'm going to... Whatever. What a butt. What a Neanderthal. I'm going to be creative with the insults I come up. What a chowderhead. But Robin Hood lay hidden in Sherwood Forest for 1 year. And in that time there gathered around many others like himself, cast out from other folk for this cause and for that. Oh, cool. Some had shot deer in hungry winter time, when they could get no other food, and had been seen in the act by the foresters, like Robin Hood, okay, but had escaped, thus saving their ears. Some had been turned out of their inheritance, and their farms might be added to the king's land in Sherwood Forest. Some had been to the king's land in Sherwood. Some had been despoiled by the great baron, or a rich boat, or a powerful esquire, all for one cause or another had come to Sherwood to escape wrong and oppression. So in that year, 50 more good stout yeomen gathered about Robin Hood and chose him to be their leader and chief. I forgot that Peter Pan is based off Robin Hood, right? Or at least like the way he looks, you know. Robin Hood and his merry men, and Peter Pan and the... I forgot what they're called. I'll probably remember, but it's like something, the Wild Boys, I think, right? Whatever. Good for you. And if there was no Robin Hood, there would be no Peter Pan. If there was no Peter Pan, there would be no Legend of Zelda. If there be no Legend of Zelda, I would be here with a girlfriend. It's all a domino effect, huh? All right. So in all that year, blah blah blah. Then they vowed that even as they themselves had been despoiled, they would despoil the oppressors, whether baron, abbot, knight, or squire, and that from each they would take that which had been wrung from the poor by unjust taxes, or land rent, or in wrongful fines. But to the poor folk they would give a helping hand in need and trouble, and would return to them that which had been unjustly taken from them. Besides this, they swore never to harm a child, nor wrong a woman, be she maid, wife, or widow. Okay, maid, wife, or widow. Anything else, it's great. Oh, I don't think they included all, while children are included. Wife or widow. Old women? Is that considered one of those? Whatevers. So that after a while, when the people began to find that no harm was meant to them, but that the money or food came in time of want to many a poor family, they came to praise Robin and his merry men, and tell many tales of him and his doings in Sherwood Forest, for they felt to be one of themselves. Up rose, there's like a little 3 dots signifying that it's the future, not the past. Up rose, how about this? I'm getting pretty thirsty, but I will not stop except for right now to explain what I'm about to say. When a keynote moment happens, I'm going to drink water. I'm probably going to drink a good amount because it's hot and my mouth is dry. Up rose Robin Hood one merry morn when all the birds were singing blithely among the leaves, and up rose all his merry men, each fellow washing his head and hands in cold brown broke, that leaped laughing from stone to stone. Then said Robin, for 14 days have we seen no sport, so now I will go abroad to seek adventures forthwith. But tarry ye, my merry men all, here in Greenwood, only see that ye mind will my call. Only see that ye mind well my call. This should be a whatever. 3 blasts upon the bugle horn I will blow in my hour of need. Then come quickly, for I shall want your aid. So saying, he strode away through the leafy forest glades until he had come to the verge of Sherwood. There he wandered for a long time through highway and byway, through dingley dwell and forest skirts. Now he met a fair buxom lass, buxom, and let's see, buxom lass and shady. Are they Scottish? Near. It's the dialect. Maybe it's the dialect. And his shady lane, and each gave the merry wood a passing their way. Now he saw a fair lady. Wow, Robin, what luck y'all have, huh? To meet 2 women. I can barely meet 1. All right, good for you. This is a character that we should all be praising and idolizing. To whom he doffed his cap and who bowed sedately. Oh no, that's seductively. I'm thinking of something else. Whatever. I'm gonna move right now. And returned to the fair youth. Now he saw a fat. Really, dude? You're gonna be talking great about the women, but the poor fat monk, he's fat. The end. No adjectives required. No adverbs. No verbs at all. He's just a fat monk. Okay. And on a painter Latin ass. So much for not cursing. But hey, like I said in the disclaimer, this was written a while ago, so you're gonna have to excuse some stuff. Ass is a donkey. Or maybe he really was sitting on his ass. Who knows? Sure, let's see. Now we saw a fat monk on a pannier Latin ass. And now Gallian knights with spear and shield and armor that flash brightly in the sunlight. Now a plate clad in crimson. And now a stab burger from good Nottingham town, pacing along with serious footsteps. All these sights he saw, but adventure found he none. At last he took a road by the forest skirts and bypath that dipped toward a broad, pebbly stream spanned by a narrow bridge made of log and wood. As he drew nigh his bridge, he saw a tall stranger coming from the other side. Thereupon Robin quickened his pace, as did the stranger likewise, each thinking to cross first. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's straight up Samurai Jack and what's his name? The Scotsman. I'm gonna try to recite the whole thing. What do you think of that, Mr. Pajama wearing, basket face, slipper wielding, Clyde, breed boggle, good, all blithering, gomital, Jesse, oaf looking stoner, something milk drinking, little old, I don't know the rest. No way, he says soy faced little old, wore my hoot and lock, while something bratted Pitachi. That is straight up the Samurai Jackson. The more you know. Where are we at? Wow, dude, Luke looks so young. I'm glad Luke Hamill didn't have much time. This is like, hey Luke, hey Mr. Hamill, would you like to replay your role as Luke Skywalker? By golly, I sure would. You know, a lot of folks don't like to be reminisced as that one guy. You know, Harrison Ford doesn't like to play as Han Solo, but I love it when fans call me Luke. I love that stuff. All right, Mr. Hamill, here's your script. What? Why does this say that? You know why? Hold on. I had this 2-hour long discussion with one of my friends, and I had it with a good bunch of people. I don't want to get into it. Just know that The Last Jedi, they did my man dirty, dude. That's an actual tear. That's not sweat. That's tear. I don't want to get into it. Let's just get back to this. Thou now stand thou back and let the better man cross first. Nay, then stand back thine own self, for the better man what am I? That will we presently see, and meanwhile stand thou where. Oh, hold on. Thou art, or else by bright brow of Saint Ifrida. See this? I'm confused. What did I step on? Bye. That was an ant. Let me see. Right there. Alfreda? What is that? What is an Alfreda? Alfreda? Frijolitas. Tacos de frita, more like it. Ow! I stubbed my toe. I will show thee right good Nottingham play with a cloth yard shaft betwixt thy ribs. Now, I will tan thy hide till it be as many colors as beggar's cloak, if thou darest so much as touch a string of that same bow that thou holdest in thy hands. Thou prayest like an ass, for I could send this shaft clean through thy prow. Wait, hold on. That's not that Kino. Tell me when he looks onto the distance, that is definition of Kino. Downright. No one cares about that. For I could send this clean shaft through thou pride heart. Wait, Thou prayest like an ass, for I could send this shaft clean through thy proud heart before a cruel friar could say grace over a roast goose at Michaelmastide. And thou prayest like a coward, answered the stranger, for thou standest there with good yew bow to shoot at my heart, while I have not in my hand but a plain blackthorn staff, wherewith to meet thee. Now, by the faith of my heart, never have I heard a coward's name in all my life before. I will lay by my trusty bow and eke my arrows, okay. And if thou darest abide my coming, I will go and cut a cudgel to test thy manhood withal. I said I wasn't gonna burp, but I couldn't help it. Excuse me. Ay, marry, that will I bide thy coming, and joyously too, quoth the stranger, whereupon he leaned sturdily upon his staff to wait Robin. Then Robin stepped quickly to cover side and cut a good staff of ground oak, straight, without flaw, and 6 feet in length, and came back trimming away tender stems from it, while the strangers waited for him, leaning upon his staff and whistling as whistling as gay. Whistling. Where is it? Whistling as he gazed around about. Robin observed him furtively as he gazed round about. Robin observed him furtively as he trimmed his staff, measuring him from top to toe, from out of the corner of his eye. Oh no, wait, sorry. I was measuring from top to toe, from out of the corner of his eye, and thought that he had never seen a or stoutier man. Tall was Robin, but taller was his. Oh, it's Little John! But taller was the stranger by a head and neck, for he was 7 feet in height. I think like a doorway is 7 feet. I think Andre the Giant was like 7 something. Whoa, buddy! What are you eating? Just rocks? Give me some rocks, please. Broad was Robin across-shouldered, but broader was the stranger. Oh yeah, it's Little John, of course. By twice the breadth of a palm? Oh wow. Oh wow. Let's see. Okay, while he measured at least an ell around the waist. What's an ell? I don't know what an ell is. Nevertheless, said Robin to himself, I will base thy height right merrily, my good fellow. Oh, he's so full of manners. How respectable. Then aloud, lo, here's my good staff, lusty and tough. Now wait my coming, and thou darest, and meet me, and thou fearest not. Then we will fight until one of the other of us tumble into the stream by dint of blows. Marry, that meeteth my whole heart, cried the stranger, twirling his staff above his head. We got a Donatello here. Betwixt his fingers and thumb. Donatello before he was Donatello. Never did the knights of Arthur's Round Table meet in a stoutier fight than did these two. In a moment, Robin stepped quickly upon the bridge where the stranger stood. First he made a feint and then delivered a blow at the stranger's head that, had it met its mark, would have tumbled him speedily into the water. But the stranger turned the blow right deftly, and in return gave one as stout, which Robin also turned as the stranger had done. Ooh, whoa, okay, we got a fight. We got a real fight going on. So they stood, and each in his place, neither moving a finger's breadth back, for 1 good hour. An hour? Kino. I'll be back. Well, I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to watch right here. And just bask in the Kino. Kino! I'm going to put that at 35. I hate Star Wars 7, 8, and 9. Ugh.
What are you doing hiding back there?
Kino. Just want to keep pointing. Not at that moment, but that other moment was absolutely Kino. Now let's go back to actual Kino. Whew. What is that noise? Heard a vibration. Whatever. Received by each. No, let's see. So they stood each in his place, neither moving a finger's breadth for 1 good hour. That's a lot. And many blows were given and received by each in that time. Till here, and there were and there were sore bones and bumps, yet neither thought of crying enough, or they stopped to rest. Or seemed likely to fall from off the bridge. Now and then they stopped to rest. It is the Samurai Jack one. How long did they fight? For like a day. And at sometimes they were just too tired. This is straight up, there's no doubt in my mind, this is straight up the Samurai Jack Scotman scene. I love the Scotman, but I don't want to get into that. Now and then they stopped to rest, and each thought that they never had seen in all his life before such a hand at quarterstaff. At last, Robin gave the stranger a blow upon the ribs and made his jacket smoke like a damp straw thatched in the sun. So shrewd was the stroke that the stranger came within a hair's breadth of falling off the bridge. But he regained himself right quickly and by a dexterous blow gave Robin a crack at the crown that caused the blood to flow. Ooh. Then Robin grew mad with anger and smote with all the might at the other. But the stranger warded the blow and once again thwacked Robin, and this time so fairly that he fell heels over head. It's head over heels, but whatever, I'm not going to judge you for that. Into the water as the queen pin falls in the game of bowls. "And where art thou now, good lad?" shouted the stranger, roaring with laughter. "Oh, in the flood and floating down with the tide," cried Robin. Nor could he forbear, laughing himself at his sorry plight. Then, gaining his feet, he waded to the bank, the little fish speeding hither and thither, all frightening at his splashing. "Give me thy hand," cried he, when he had reached the bank. "I must needs own thy..." I hate this, whatever. "I must needs own thy art a brave and sturdy soul, and withal a good stout stroke with the cudgels. By this and by that, my head hummeth like to a hive of bees on a hot June day." It's not June, but it's really hot. Like I can't even like begin to tell you how hot it is. It's really hot. I'm not a sweater. Whoa, that doesn't look good, my guys. And that hurts. It's the sweat, it's burning. Then he clapped his horn to his lips and winded a blast that went echoing. But we already know Little John joins this party. There's no way they're gonna attack him. "Ay, marry, thou art a tall lad and eke a brave one, for near I trow is there a man betwixt here and Canterbury town could do the like to me that thou hast done." "And thou," quoth the stranger laughing. Okay, this is what I hate. How am I know he's laughing if I had to read it after? "And thou takest thy cudgeling like a brave heart and stout yeoman." But now the distant twigs and branches rustled with the coming of men, and suddenly a score or two of good stout yeomen, all clad in Lincoln green, burst from out the covert, with Mary Wilstutly at their head. "Good master, how is this? Truly thou art all wet from head to foot, and that to the very skin. Why, Mary, yon stout fellow hath tumbled me neck and crop into the water, and hath given me a drubbing beside. Then shall he not go without a ducking and eke a drubbing himself? Have at him, lads!" Then Will and a score of yeomen leaped upon the stranger. Kino!
Ben Kenobi?
Kino! Drink time!
Jungle and wastes are not to be traveled lightly.
Most people won't think this is Kino. Most people won't think this is
Brings
Kino,
you
but
out this far.
this is absolutely Kino right here.
I think he's searching for his former master, but I've never seen such devotion.
Let me see if I can remember. He says he's the property of someone named Obi-Wan.
Property of an Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Is he a relative of yours? Do you know who he's talking about?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
Kenobi. That's not Kenobi. That's a name.
Now, that's a name
I haven't heard in a long time. So you know him.
Long time.
I think
Oh,
my
my
uncle
fountain.
knows him.
Oh, I don't know. I just know this part.
Oh, he's not dead.
No.
Not yet.
So you know
You
him.
know him.
That's he. Of course I know him.
He's me.
Absolutely
Haven't
Kino.
gone by the name
Of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Since the Clown Wars. Which isn't true because in Star Wars Rebels that one kid calls him Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, Darth Maul calls him Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're a liar! Or, you know, the Rebels don't know about lore and I hate that show. Back to what I was reading. Then Will and a score of yeomen leaped upon the stranger, but though they sprang quickly, they found him ready and felt him strike right and left with his stout staff, so that though he went down with the press of numbers, some of them rubbed cracked crowns before he was overcome. "Nay, forbid!" cried Robin, laughed. See, this, I need to know if they're laughing or not. Cried Robin, "Nay, forbid! He is a right good man and true, and no harm shall befall him. Now hark ye, good youth, wilt thou stay with me and be one of my band? 3 suits of Lincoln green shalt thou have each year. Each year? You only get 3 clothings a year? That's not a deal breaker, my dude. Beside 40 marks in fee, and share with us whatsoever good shall befall us. Thou shalt eat sweet venison and quaff the stoutest ale, and mine own good right hand man shalt thou be. For never did I seek such a cudgel player in all my life before. Well, speak! Wilt thou be one of my good merry men? That know I not. Excuse me. Quoth the stranger, surely for he was angry at being so tumbled about. If ye handle you, bow and apple shaft, no better than ye do oak and cudgel, I wot ye are not fit to be called yeomen in my country. But if there be any man here that can shoot a better shaft than I, then will I bethink me joining with you. Now by faith, thou art a right saucy varlet, Sirrah? I don't know what that is. Yet I will stoop to thee as I never stooped to a man before. Good Stuteley, cut thou a fair white piece of bark, 4 fingers in breadth. Oh wow, okay. 4 fingers in breadth, set it 80 yards distant on yonder oak. Now, stranger, hit that fairly with a great goose shaft and call thyself an archer. Aye, marry that I will. Give me a good stout bow and fair broad arrow, and if I hit it not strip me and beat. There needs to be a comma there. Darth Vader, beat me blue with bowstring. Then he chose the stoutest bow amongst them all, next to Robin's own, and a straight great goose shaft, well feathered and smooth and stepping the mark, while all the band sitting or lying upon the greenswood watched to see him shoot. He drew the arrow to his cheek and loosened the shaft right deftly, sending it so straight down the path that it clove the mark at the very center. "Ha ha!" cried he, "mend thou that if thou canst," while even the yeomen clapped their hands at so fair shot. "That is a keen shot indeed. Mend it I cannot, but mar it I may, perhaps." Then taking up his own good stout bow and nocking an arrow with care, he shot with his greatest skill. Straight flew the arrow, and so true that it lit fairly upon the stranger's shaft and split into splinters. Then all the yeomen leaped to their feet and shouted for joy that their master had shot so well. "Now by the loss to you, bow of good Saint Withel," cried this stranger. It's a stranger, I thought it was Robin. "Now by the lust of you, bow of good Saint Withel, that is the shot. That is a shot indeed, and never saw I the like. Never saw I the like in all my life before. Now truly I be thy man henceforth, good Adam Bell." Adam Bell, there's like a note behind it. Hold on. Good Adam Bell was a fair shot, but never shot he so. Adam Bell, Clem o' the Clow, and William of Cloudsley were 3 noted North Country bowmen, whose names have been celebrated in many ballads of the olden time. Alright, well that's what that is. Let's see. "Then have I gained the right good man this day?" quoth jolly Robin. "What name goest thou by, good fellow?" "Men call me John Little whence I came." Little John, you mean. Then Will Studley, who loved a good jest, spoke up. "Nay, fair little stranger," said he, "I like not thy name, and fair would I have it otherwise. Little art thou indeed, and small of bone and sinew. Therefore shalt thou be christened Little John, and I will be thy godfather." Then Robin Hood and all his band laughed aloud until the stranger began to grow angry. "And thou make a jest of me," quoth he to Will Studley. "Thou wilt have more sore bones and little pay than in short season. Nay, good friend, bottle thine anger, for the name fitteth thee well. Little John thou shalt be called henceforth, and Little John shall it be. So come, my merry men, and we will go and prepare a christening feast for this fair infant. Oh, this is good. So turning their backs upon the stream, they plunged into the forest once more, through which they traced their steps till they reached the spot where they dwelt in the depths of the woodland. There had they. Wow, that was a brain fart if I ever seen one. There had they built huts of barks and branches of trees and made couches. Couches? What a living, huh? Of sweet rushes spread over with skin of fallow deer. Ooh, never mind. That's a little bit barbaric. But hey, a couch is a couch. Here stood a great oak tree with branches spreading broadly around, beneath which was a sea of green moss where Robin Hood was wont to sit at feast at the merrymaking with his good stout men about him. Here they found the rest of the band, some of whom had come embraced with fat does. Then they all built great fires, and after a time roasted the doughs and broached a barrel of humming ale. Then, when the feast was ready, they all sat down, but Robin Hood placed Little John in his right hand, for he was henceforth to be the second in the band. Ooh, that's not fair. He wasn't even the second one to get there. Then, when the that's another Kino moment. I don't really care about that though. Did he already say that? You underestimate the power of the dark side? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said it. No, did he? Never mind. I don't care. Disturbing. Okay. Then, when the feast was done, Will Studley spoke up. It is now time, I ween, to christen our bonny babe. Is it not so, merry boys? And I, cried all, laughing till the woods echoed with their mirth. Then 7 sponsors shall we have, quoth Will Studley. And hunting among all the band, he chose the 7 stoutest men of them all. Now by St. Dunstan, cried Little John. Now by St. Dunstan, cried Little John, springing to his feet. More than one of you shall rue it, and you lay a finger upon me. But without a word, they all ran upon him at once, seizing him by his leg and arms and holding him tightly in spite of his struggles. They bore him forth while all stood around to see the sport. Then one came forward who had been chosen to play the priest because he had a bald crown, and in his hand he carried a brimming pot of ale. Now who bringeth this babe? Asked he right soberly. That I do. And what name callest thou him? Little John call I him. Now, Little John, thou hast not lived heretofore, but only got thee along through the world. But henceforth thou wilt live indeed. When thou livest not, thou was called Little John Little, but now thou thus lived indeed. Little John shall thou be. I threw up a little bit. Christian eyed thee, and at these last words, he emptied the pot of ale upon Little John's head. Oh no! Then all shouted with laughter as they saw the good brown ale stream over Little John's beard and trickled from his nose and chin, while his eyes blinked with smart of it. And at first he was a mind to be angry, but he found he could not because the others were so merry. So he too laughed with the rest. Wait, are they dead? Yep, I recognize that song. At first he was mine, blah blah, we're so merry. So he too laughed with the rest. Then Robin took his sweet pretty babe, clothed them all anew from top to toe in Lincoln green, and gave him a good stout bow, and so made him a member of the merry band. And thus it was that Robin Hood became outlaw. Thus a band of merry companions gathered about him, and thus he gained his right hand man, Little John. And so the prologue ends, and now I will tell how the sheriff of Nottingham 3 times sought to take Robin Hood, and how he failed each time. That was the end of the chapter. I'll stop here. If you guys like this, I don't care. Bye.